and welcome to JMC Jams Season 4, Episode 3. And I have Ben Judkins and Taylor Lane with me here today, the guys behind the cigarette surfboard thing and documentary. So you saw us lots of tabling the other day, trying to generate interest in the screening that we've had today, and there was a Q&A afterwards. And it's an amazing movie. Just for anybody who has not seen it, you're interested in environmental issues, the ocean, or even if you just like to see lots of great surf shots, actually.
Right.
You know, it's a good movie to introduce to you lots of a little aspect of sustainability that you may not have been aware of before, and that can maybe help you to think about how you as an individual can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Which is the way I saw it, actually, was that the board itself is a vehicle for storytelling that takes us into the wider environmental issues, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you nailed, you said it better than I could have. It's art activism in the environment, and using the surfboards built from cigarette butts picked up off the beach is a way to start conversations with people about what they're doing in their communities to protect and restore the health of the ocean, and also, what anyone can do to get involved. And we really wanted to make a film that was positive and uplifting and inspired people to get involved and take action on environmental issues that are important for them. So it's been a wonderful experience. We had a blast screening the film today at San Jose State, which Taylor Lane is a graduate of San Jose State. So I remember I came here like 9 years ago with you when you were graduating, and that was the last time I was on campus. What about you?
Yeah, it's been a few years. I was part of the industrial design program from 2011 to 2017. I think I came back and tried to offload some of my materials to the students and the professor. Not sure they took it, but it was a great program here. I really enjoyed it. I think one of the things we touched on in the conversation was that you're not really defined by your degree. I had an opportunity as an industrial designer to learn some immense skills. Really, I think when it comes down to what I leaned into was storytelling, and that's where our connection really came through, and also just physically making something. I grew up in a garage. I was able to swing a hammer before I could finish a book. So coupling those things of like our project where we have this tangible thing that's a surfboard made of cigarette butts, picked up off the beach, enveloped by this storytelling aspect in vignettes and looking for solutions was a really fun duo that Ben and I were able to tap into. And through my years here at San Jose State, I had filmed some things of some projects, and I became friends with Ben in the surf community in Santa Cruz when I was living there. And we kind of just had this great chemistry, and Ben's been there since the first cigarette butt.
Been filming you since the first butt. So, it's been a tremendous journey. It's been 9 years of working on this project, and we finished the film 2 years ago. We did the film festival circuit. We screened at about 50 film festivals. We won some awards, honored to have screened at some of these places, and realized that people really were inspired by the film, and so we started doing educational screenings, educational events like what we did today, and bringing the surfboards, bringing the film, doing a Q&A with student audiences that I think are at a time of like, you get your degree and kind of like, then what?
Right.
You're kind of like, how can I actually use this degree to do something in the world that matters? And that's something that, having started this film just post-college, like we really wanted to answer that question, and knew that this population of like 18 to 25 was really a core audience, would be a core audience of the film. Give people kind of some ideas, ways in which they can, take their degree out into the world and make some change.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're not going to talk about the movie itself, I think, because I think everyone needs to see it. But one thing that did strike, a few things that struck me actually all the way through is like, we can talk about this because it's, we can just keep talking about the ocean and how much it matters to, not just to you if you use it as a surfer or if you play, it's your playground. The connections that you make with the ocean are super deep,
Right.
And of course they feed the earth as well. And so all of that is kind of course, embedded in the movie. But one thing that that you hear early on is how this all came about because of a competition, right?
Right.
which is something that I always try to kind of say to students, like, enter these competitions because you just don't know what's going to come of it.
Totally. Yeah, we didn't know. I mean, you didn't know you were like going to build one cigarette surfboard. I was going to make a 1-minute video, and it turned into like a decades-long project that took us around the world, and we had the privilege of meeting this incredible cast of professional surfers. So I think the contest really pushed you to push your creativity and to do something otherwise you wouldn't have done ultimately. And I think that's school too, right? We get these assignments, we have these parameters, and that's such a perfect time, especially like as a film student or people in mass communications and journalism, to just try things out, like throw some stuff at the wall and see what you like doing, see what sticks, which I think you can speak to the whole like trial and error of a project like this. You just had to go out and try it because it had never been done before.
Yeah, it was a really unique opportunity for this competition that Surfrider Foundation and Vissla put on still to this day, called the Creators Contest. It prompts people to build an article of surfcraft out of upcycled materials, and it has to work. Yeah. So I loved that as a designer and a creative of like, how do we take this thing and make it useful? And when we were sitting around trying to figure out what that item was, Ben was like, napkins, and I was like, how about straws? And he was like, spoons, and I was like, bottle caps, and he's like, cigarette butts, and I'm like, no, that's just disgusting, dude. And what rung true was that it was this great story of our relationship, what our relationship as humans can be. Doesn't have to be defined by that, which is our relationship to the planet. Throwaway culture, out of sight, out of mind. And I think it just spun off into this much bigger narrative that I think was sort of like way larger than we had ever imagined. And so it was a great opportunity to not only leverage my design skills, because I really was enthralled with trying to find this complex problem of how do I solve something that something's never been done. And I've been diagnosed with ADHD since I was in 3rd grade. And so we have this fascination as people with ADHD to solve complex problems and obsess about it, for better or for worse. And that really just became this, and it was so fun because it was very like multi-layered. There was storytelling, there was building the boards. And that just, I think, took us off into a whole nother world, and there was people behind us that supported it, shapers that were shaping the surfboards and learning a new process, learning a new skill. Ben building his skills on filmmaking, production, directing, all the layers. And for me, it was like collaboration, design thinking, storyboarding, telling that like narrative. And it was a thing that I think like people started to see, and they just wanted to support, and we were foolish enough to take the bait and look at where we are.
But I think there's the beauty in that, right? Like we were young,
right?
We were maybe a bit naive, and
living out of a van at times.
We were ambitious. We didn't have much money. We also had the time to put towards this, and we made ends meet. You know, we didn't have families of our own yet. We didn't have a mortgage to pay. Life was relatively, like, we could live pretty cheap to commit ourselves to this project for a number of years. And like what a thing to have that openness in the world, right? And like because you were so open to improving your craft and having those moments of trial and error and then learning from it and talking with people and talking with people and talking with people, I think it really led to this film that grew into something way bigger than just you building one of these surfboards from cigarette butts in your garage, right? It really connected the dots between some of the most incredible ocean activists in the world, people that we both really look up to in the surfing world and in the ocean conservation spaces. And what a journey and epic time getting to meet them, such as the folks at Surfers Against Sewage, which I know you were once a Surfers Against Sewage member, so like connected with you today. You're like, well, like that was something that I saw growing up.
No, absolutely. We had a good conversation about Surfers Against Sewage, and it really saddened me recently to see that the sewage is back. You know, and of course, the cigarettes are just a part of that. I mean, we won't even talk about the sewage that goes into some of these breaks over and around the British coast, because it's really not worth talking about right now. But I mean, the cigarettes are just equally. I think any kind of trash that goes into the ocean or into our environment is kind of disgusting anyway. But I think, like, when you're saying about disposable culture, of course, a cigarette butt is the ultimate symbol, right?
Yeah.
And I think in your movie you also you talk about pop culture a little bit, where we're going back to Hollywood and that whole idea of flicking the cigarette. Yeah.
Right.
Which, I mean, you guys are too young for this, but like, so back when I was like, in that, at college and so on, I mean, everybody smoked, right?
And
it was
the professor, the doctor on airplanes and hospitals, the doctor prescribed it.
Oh my God, the doctor used to smoke in the surgery. It was like, seriously?
Dump a little ash inside you,
But everybody did, and it was kind of, you didn't even think about it.
Right.
And, somebody who has always enjoyed the ocean environment, it's like you'd go to the beach and you'd put your cigarette butt in the sand. It was your ashtray. Yeah. But you were lying in it.
Yeah.
It's like, just the disconnect is crazy.
Yeah. Well, we really, there's this point in the film where at the beginning we show a bunch of found footage of these kind of famous people like James Dean in a movie flicking their cigarette butt. And then at the end of the movie, after we've kind of shown the environmental, human health, and economic impacts of these single-use plastic cigarette butts, we reverse that footage. And I think that was us trying to be like, let's imagine a future, let's reimagine what is normal. Like what is, why has this action of the flick, my one cigarette flicking it off into either a city street or on the beach, how has that become the norm? And can we imagine a future in which that isn't the norm? And so we, took to policy. Taylor really committed himself to helping influence policy in Santa Cruz to try to ban this, icon of trash, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And disposable culture, right? Yeah. I mean, the thing is that there's not that many people who smoke now as there used to be.
No.
And even then, we still see that the cigarette butt is the item that's mostly picked up on beach cleanups.
Still.
It's insane,
Yeah.
And, as you follow the film and our journey, one of the things that we were able to do was actually make some policy happen in the city and the county of Santa Cruz. Became the first jurisdiction in the world to ban the sale of single-use cigarette filters. And that is a huge landmark, piece of legislation that is hopefully going to chart the way for other coastal communities, cities, counties, states, maybe nations to follow, because when you break it down, it's just quite absurd that these plastic pieces of toxic little chemical bombs are just everywhere.
Exactly. And it's that first step, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I do remember, vividly when the first places started to adopt the cigarette ban in, first of all, in restaurants and bars, and then it was in public spaces, and then within so many feet from a window or a door or whatever. And there was uproar, Of course there was.
Always.
Because it was change, right? And it was tumultuous change. Yeah. But now it's the norm. Now you do not expect to go into a restaurant and encounter cigarette smoke.
Right.
Exactly.
So
it's happened before, it can happen again.
Exactly.
And it is happening again. And I think that's like the cool part about this policy is it's starting that it's changing the norm. It's questioning the status quo, and I think the surfboards in the film, that's exactly, what I think at its core, what they're doing is they're challenging something that for so long has been accepted or at least not held accountable. And now that's, through policy, through hopefully a little bit from our film and this project is changing, which is really cool to be a part of and cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw that Juan came in to tell us that we're reaching the end. Again, as usual, like I said, I could talk to you guys all day about this, and it's a shame that you're going away. I want to keep you here so we can keep talking. But,
we got to go surfing.
Extended episodes. We'll bring the mics out to the lineup.
It's not fair, But seriously, though, the movie has been making the rounds, as you said before, on the indie festivals and so on. Where's the next step with it? I mean, you're doing the tours. At some point, it's going to be like sort of on general release, right?
It's going to be online. Yeah, so this was our 119th screening today.
Wow.
So we've done a lot of in-person events. And to reach a broader audience, we want to put the film online. So we're working with strategizing the best way to do that distribution. But the film is going to be released online this year, and stay in touch. Follow us on Instagram. Hate to do a plug for Instagram, but at the Cigarette Surfboard, and we'll definitely be letting people know like when the film is going online, and hopefully that can really continue to like spread the message further and further.
Yeah, and our website too is thecigarettesurfboard.com. We got a bunch of cool like videos, resources where we screen, and just staying in touch with what we're doing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I look forward to seeing where this takes us, because it'd be awesome to see the legislation come into place, because sometimes we think, we've changed legislation, or we brought something new in, and that law takes a couple of years, to come through into effect. Yeah, 2027 is going to be the first time it's happening, and so we feel like there's a big undercurrent with the film coming out sometime this year, and this policy. We've been so fortunate here at San Jose State for you guys to host us and have this unique screening, and we can't wait to share it with everybody else, and I think it'll just be a matter of time for it to make waves. Yeah, I like that. That's a really good way to end it. And what next? I mean, you guys got any other projects? Too many projects. I mean, Ben and I are, we got some nuts and bolts loose in here. We really throw ourselves into things, and we both got some side passion projects while continuing to, make money to eat, because that's what we got to do. So I work in a family business with affordable housing, doing needs assessment inspections, and we're launching some software. And I'm also crazy enough to run a 22-acre organic farm in Pescadero. So while working on this project too, this is kind of in some ways coming down to an end. But it feels like it's going to tick back up again. Totally. So. Yeah, this is, I'm mostly working on this project still. It's most of what I spend my time doing work-wise. And, for a long time I wanted to have that next film, like kind of on the docket. A lot of people at film festivals ask, what's next? Like, what's your next film? And I thought I had to have an answer to that. And then I kind of realized that I'm still really entrenched in this film and this project, and I really do see the potential for it to continue to grow and grow. So for the time being, I'm still kind of like sticking hard with this, and as Taylor said, seeing the waves that this project can create in the months and years to come. Yeah, and I think it's just another check mark for Santa Cruz, because it's like such great environmental activism comes out of that small town, Yeah. But it's just amazing, really. So, I hope you guys keep this going, and we'll keep the conversation going as well, because I'm sure that at some point we'll be thinking of like, hey, can we talk to Ben and Taylor about like, so maybe collaborating or working with our students or something? Absolutely. Which I'm sure you'd be open to doing, right? I'm right in Santa Cruz. Ben's got to get on a plane from the East Coast for now, but I'm always happy. I mean, but that's a good excuse, right? It's a good excuse. I get to go surf. I get to work with you. Right. San Jose State has a special place in my heart. Spent many sleepless nights here. Yeah. Yeah, literally, right? Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, guys. It'd be great to keep the conversation going, but we only have this short window. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, Taylor. And thanks for listening, watching, wherever you get this podcast. We're going to be talking to Surfrider. We're going to be talking to a few other environmental groups, as you know, during this season, building up to our activities during Earth Week. So there'll be more of this kind of conversation happening. Until next time, probably next week or maybe the week after, we'll see you soon.